Damn it. This is actually day 3, but I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot accomplished today. First thing that I did was I cut up the other sheet, at least ripped it down the middle, so I got 2 pieces that are the same size, roughly 24 inches wide. I also sorted out the drawer slides that I need. These are the cheap ones, and that'll be the top 3 shallow drawers. And then I've got another set of 22-inch ones that are full extension for a bigger drawer that will be in the bottom of the unit. But before I go any further, I want to get the shop tidied up a little bit. That's one thing, you know, you could call it my New Year's resolution, but that would be, you know, bullshit. I just decided that the best way to do it is to stay on top of the cleanup situation, and before I start a new day, if there's any mess, significant amount of mess, clean it up. So you can see it's not bad. There's some stuff laying around. There's some sawdust over here. There's the offcuts of the drawer slides that I cut off. I got some shavings over here from the drill press, and you know, I think I'll just take the time to vacuum things up and make it look tidy again. And get down on my knees. It used to be I could bend down and pick this stuff up. General idea. I gotta move the table saw slightly this way, further ahead in the shop, and over this way a little bit, because I've got to move the miter saw station down another foot or 2, because once this grinder stand goes in here, the grinder's on top, yes, that's established, but what I want to put underneath is my planer, which I brought back in by itself, not on that stand that I made before. The problem with that stand is bulky, you know, very effective. Would be great in a larger shop where you got the space, but I don't have it here. So the idea is to have this planer underneath, directly underneath the grinder on that stand, and that when I need it, I'll just pull it out on those drawer slides that I shortened yesterday. What I need is space here to walk through, and when I move the miter stand down, I need space to get through here. Lighten it up a bit. The big benefit of doing this is that the plug is exposed again, so I can get at that and actually plug the grinder into this outlet, which is a bonus. Okay, when the planer is in, it'll be out here somewhere. Should roll right out, and then I'll have a clear path that way over about, I don't know, 12, 14 feet, and then back this way, as it is right now, I'll have about 8 feet, which is probably going to be plenty for everything I do. But if I'm doing really long stuff, which I never will be, I can always open the door and let it go out through the door, but never in the winter. Well, that'll do it for this one. I'm sorry that there wasn't any actual progress with the project, but in a way there was, because everything that I did in this video had to be done anyway, so it's part of the build, you know what I mean? It might not show in the final result, but it's there all the same. Another thing, I posed a question yesterday regarding whether I should paint the stand or leave it plain. The overwhelming opinion is to leave it plain, and originally I was going to paint it, but then I got to thinking about it, reading some of the comments, and said to myself, well, true enough, the grinder is painted, but the stand, if the stand was painted the same color, it would kind of, you know, all blend into one kind of thing, and that would really stand out in here unless I painted everything else to suit. You know, not that I'm really hung up on workshop fashion or anything like that, but I want everything to look reasonably well matched. A couple of things while I'm here and talking. First off is get people to leave comments and ask questions on the video, but their reply button is not enabled. You got to go into your G+ settings and fix that so that, you know, people can actually reply to your comments. You can't see that, it's a problem, but if you notice that that your questions are not getting answered, that's probably the reason. And it's been really frustrating ever since they changed over to the Google Plus thing. It's probably the biggest annoyance for me is that thing right there. Another thing is that if you have a link in your comment, even if it's a link to a video, it's going to be marked as spam. At least on my channels it is. I don't know why that is. I've gotten a couple of emails, private messages from people, you know, a little bit annoyed because they thought that I marked their comment as spam. And that's not the case. It was the link in the comment, and that sent it to the spam folder. What I have to do is I have to, you know, go in and review them every once in a while and mark those as not spam, and then they show up back in the comments again. Instead of doing an actual link, do something like a Google search term or something like that, like search for this on Google, and then you won't have any problems. Last thing here is just a general comment about the channel. This, what you're seeing here, is what you're going to get on this channel. It's not for full builds. I got a lot of thumbs down on the threads, the steel threads thing, and I got a feeling that was because I didn't actually resolve the problem in the video, so people thought that they were, you know, wasting their time watching it. Well, get used to it because there's going to be a lot of that on here. Another thing that I've been getting a lot of comments on is when I'll have a new video on my home renovation channel, and that's complicated. I have some material left over from the, you know, the summer and fall, but I haven't worked up the motivation to look through it, to edit it. It's quite a lot, and it's you know, the further you get away from a project, the harder it is to regroup and try to put the thing together. And that's the case here. I've been thinking about just taking the video and kind of, you know, putting it into like a compilation thing without much explanation or anything like that, and just throwing it all together into a 10-minute video or whatever and putting it up there. And then I'll carry on again when I actually started on the house renovation again. I've done some stuff over the winter, but nothing that would be, you know, worthy of a video or an article or whatever. It's basically, you know, housekeeping type stuff, you know, putting up drywall in the rooms and stuff like that. I haven't really done a lot of anything else since. I kind of got burned out over the summer, I have to admit. I did a lot of work on the house over the summer, plus all the other stuff that I did, you know, with this, you know, YouTube job that I have. I'll end it on a high note. I got to thank everyone that's taken the time to subscribe to the channel. I think it's over 8,000 now at this point, which is great. I didn't expect that many to begin with. And thanks for all the comments I've been getting. That's much appreciated as well. I hope to continue with more or less daily videos on this channel. What I want to avoid is getting trapped into the kind of mindset that I had on the other channel, where I would be afraid to put anything like this video in particular on there because, well, it'd get booed into submission type thing. And I want this channel to be more free. You know, I can do what I want, when I want. If I want to upload a video today, I can do it. If I want to come out and talk to the camera for 10 minutes, I can do that. That type of thing. I don't want to get trapped into the full project schedule type thing. You know, I think this is better in the long run. One last thing before I go. I've got this and I feel guilty about it because this is something that I got almost, well, more than a year ago, I think, that Oakwood Veneer sent me out some veneer samples. Actually, these are 2 full sheets of, one is walnut and the other is cherry. You're talking about quite a lot of money's worth of veneer here. And the idea was to make a project and then, you know, talk about how good the veneer is. And I had every intention of doing that. But the problem is I don't, you know, at this point I'm not into making furniture in the house because the house is not done. So I really don't want to make furniture for that yet. But I really want to make a project to get this, you know, off my conscience type thing. So I'm looking for suggestions for a smaller project, nothing big. It doesn't have to be for right here in the shop. It could be something, you know, in the house, something you would use in the house. It doesn't have to be a piece of furniture. It could be a box, anything like that. Looking for suggestions on what I should do with this. And I really would like to use both veneers in the project, the cherry and the walnut.